After today's win, Washington has reached the numerical equivalent of mediocrity. And right now, that feels pretty good. Washington rushed for 145 yards, and they defended their home field for the first time in 2016 after their 31-20 win over the Cleveland Browns here at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Now, 2-2 is not the juiciest of records, but you have to consider where they came from. Their first two games of 2016 right here. Two losses to the Pittsburgh Steelers and to the Dallas Cowboys. Rumblings about whether the team was satisfied with the quarterback play from Kirk Cousins. But the turnaround started last week on the road at MetLife Stadium with that come-from-behind victory over the New York Giants. And Washington carried that momentum over to begin this game against Cleveland. Their first two drives, two touchdowns, both touchdowns passes from Kirk Cousins to Jordan Reed. Washington with a quick 14-0 lead. Cleveland came back to score 17 of the next 20 points to tie the game at 17. They took the lead in the third quarter, 20-17, and took that lead into the fourth quarter. But Washington with two fourth-quarter touchdowns, the Washington defense forcing three Cleveland turnovers in the second half to seal the game. And as I mentioned, the Washington running game was on point. 145 yards as a team on the ground, 55 yards more than their previous season high. Matt Jones, 22 carries, 117 yards. He led the charge on the ground. He had a touchdown run in the game for Jones, his second career 100-yard rushing game. And after the game, I got a chance to talk with one of the other running backs for Washington, Chris Thompson. He had 40 total yards, 24 on the ground, 16 through the air, and the game-winning touchdown on a 5-yard touchdown catch out of the backfield early in the fourth quarter. And I asked him to begin our conversation, compare the mood in the locker room a couple of weeks ago after they lost to Dallas, and compare that with the mood after the win today against Cleveland.
You know, that feeling sucked. It was pretty bad after losing to Dallas. You know, we knew we gave that game away. So it was just a matter of just trying to get things together and put together a full game and get a win in front of our home crowd. We dropped two in front of our home crowd, and that's not something that we want to do. So it was big getting the win today.
Was that an emphasis with the team, or maybe just yourself, not just winning at home, but making sure that you defend home turf?
Yeah, definitely. We got to defend our home turf. You know, we have one of the greatest fan bases in the NFL, and you know, we have to use that as our advantage. And you know, you have the home crowd, which makes things, you know, easier for offense. You know, as an offense, defense have a whole crew to get them pumped up. So being able to get wins at home, it's huge because it's hard scoring on the road.
On the road in the second half last week, you had that comeback against the New York Giants, and then it seemed as if you carried it over on those first couple of possessions. What clicked at the end of the Giants game, and what did you use from that Giants game to carry over to this game to start against the Browns?
It was more of just finding a way to put things together and have it all together, you know, as a whole team in all phases. And today, you know, we were able to get a quick start on offense and put some points up. Our defense was doing a great job, and you know, we fell short a little bit and put our defense in a hole, keeping them on the field a lot in that second quarter. So coming out at halftime, we just had to find a way to control the clock, run the ball, and be very efficient in the pass game, and it all worked out.
And you guys ran the ball, I believe, about 140 yards as a team, and a lot of talk has been had the past few years around here and trying to establish a run game. What was the key? And you've had guys hurt on the offensive line as well. Why were you and Matt Jones able to have a lot of success on the ground today?
Cleveland, they're a good defense. You know, just the way we studied them this week. We had a feeling that we could, you know, find some holes in the defense here and there. They have some fast linebackers that are really good, and they like to, at times, you know, undercut blocks and everything. So we were just trying to take advantage of that. And, you know, we know as a running back group that, we need to run the ball in order to be successful as a team, because that helps us control the clock, keep the defense from being on the field so much. And Matt had a great game, and he set the standard.
How much of a concern was it that Corey Lichtensteiger and Sean Laval were out, and you had some guys coming in on the offensive line making a first start, Ari Kwanjo? How much of a concern was it going into this week, the injuries?
I would say not so much a concern. Spencer, he's put in a lot of time. He's played a lot since he's been here, and Ari, he's just been waiting for his opportunity, and he did a good job today. We're hoping Corey and Sean will get back soon, but for the time being, Spencer and Ari, they're going to have to take it over, and they did a really good job today.
How much did Matt Jones's play motivate you? Over 100 yards, 117 yards. Matt Jones just really physical as well. How much did that motivate you when you were on the sidelines and when you were on the field as well, seeing him run like that?
It was big. It was big time. It's when he's having a really good game like that, I'm able to feed off his energy and his success. So when I'm out there, it helps open up holds and everything for me, because we have different skill sets. So he's grinding, he's pounding the defense, getting them tired, and then I can come in and maybe get an outside run here and there, and come out of the backfield. So it's just one of those things. If he's having good games like that, I can feed off his energy well.
So let me get this straight. I'm going to get this on camera. It is a Florida State Seminole with me rooting on a Florida Gator.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How does that happen?
We got over the hatred when he first got here. We talked about it a little bit, but now, we're teammates. We both grew up in the state of Florida, so it's that Florida love over the rivalry hate any day.
For the Cleveland Browns, still a goose egg in the win column as they're 0-4 as they hit the quarter pole of the 2016 season. But the Browns, for a lot of this ball game, played pretty well, specifically in the second and third quarters. Cody Kessler, the third quarterback for the Cleveland Browns to start in 4 games this season, had a pretty good command of the offense. 28 of 40, 223 yards. He threw a touchdown. He also threw an interception as well. He was helped out by running back Isaiah Crowell, 112 yards rushing on only 15 carries, but those 3 second-half turnovers, killers for the Cleveland Browns. 2 of those turnovers coming on fumbles by running backs when Isaiah Crowell was not in the ball game and on the sidelines. So Cleveland 0-4, Washington 2-2. So stay tuned to A Lot of Sports Talk and ALotofSportsTalk.com, where later on next week we will debut our first Down and Distance podcast, our NFL-only talk show podcast. I'll be joined by my regular co-host, Miss Holly Culbertson, and also stay tuned to A Lot of Sports Talk for coverage of Major League Soccer and the Major League Baseball postseason. Today is the last day of the Major League Baseball regular season, at least scheduled games in the Major League Baseball regular season. So we will have some talk about October baseball later on next week on A Lot of Sports Talk. So once again, our final score, Washington 31 and the Cleveland Browns 20. From FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, this is Adesina Koiki for ALotofSportsTalk.com.